I got stripes, stripes around my shoulders. I got chains, chains around my feet. I got stripes, stripes around my shoulders. And these chains, they're about to drag me down. Hello everybody, Real World Prepper. And I got stripes, as you can see. It's supposed to be a real pretty day today, but the forecast is calling for rain for the next 3 or 4 days. Could this be our culprit? We will see. So, a couple of things to talk about real quick. There is a Dr. Charles Lieber, who is the head of chemical and biology, and I forget exactly his title, but he is the head of, he's the chief scientist on staff for Harvard University, has just been arrested for allegedly conspiring with the Chinese on these bio weapons, viral weapons, having to do with corona. All right, so check it out for yourself. But actually, I found this on a CNN article of all places. CNN. And, you know, I found that to be very, very interesting. You should look into that. This video is not about that. I just want to point that out. One thing I do want to point out is in your prepping, maintenance must be done. Now, our plan here at the RWP household, as I've stated many times, is to bug in, as it were. So let's say, for example, old corona rears its head to the point to where, you know, we need to stay put to protect ourselves. So, you know, that's why we stock and store and all the things that we do, pile up items and things like that, you know, that will help us, food, water, you know, medical, protection, etc., etc., etc. And, but another thing is your dwelling, your domicile. So one thing I talk about communities and getting to know people, having friends and community that you can count on, that you can call on, that have skills maybe that you don't, you know, a diversified portfolio of people and skills. Like for me, for example, I have a friend who's a roofer and also a carpenter. By trade, a roofer, and a carpenter just because he knows how to do all that stuff too. Got a friend who's a painter, paint contractor. I have a friend who's an electrician. I have a friend who's a plumber, and I mean, these are good friends. In fact, the plumber is a family member of mine. So, and we have utilized these friends for many things over the years. And that's always a helpful thing. If you don't know these skills yourself, it's a good thing to know these skills yourself too, if you can. But if you don't, at least know somebody. So one thing we just did recently, you know, our Area 53, our new homestead here, that you know, we've been here for what, 7 months, a little better than. And one thing we just did was we had my buddy, who's a painter. He caulked and painted the house and replaced some of the rotten wood. There was a few bad spots, and anyway, he did a really excellent job. I'm pointing this out in this video here. But one thing it does is this, the job that he and his little crew did will literally buy me, I'm gonna say at least 15 years before I have to worry about any more maintenance. And then the way they did it in such a way so that the next maintenance will really only be maybe another paint job, which is something I could easily do if I had to. And I've got a bunch of paint, a bunch of the paint that really enough to do this thing again, of the same color. He left some for us, and but anyway, so the roof on this place was only a year old when we moved in. The AC units and the heat there's two, because there's one for upstairs and one for downstairs. And one of them was a year old when we moved in. The other one was, I think, 4 years old when we moved in. They've been serviced and looked after. We've had, of course, the inspection when we bought the house, revealed anything that we needed to tend to. So we had an electrician out for a couple little things, and so the point I guess I'm trying to make here is another way to prep is to make sure that your dwelling, your domicile, whether it be a bug out location or a bug in location, make sure that it is up to snuff, that there's these things you don't have to worry about after the fact, okay? If an event goes off, if the balloon goes up, whatever you want to call it, and you've got to hunker in, last thing you want to worry about is a big old nasty leak in your roof, or rotted wood that's not going to get any better, not going to unrot, right? So if you can do these things now, along with storing up food, water, medical supplies, tools, fuel, protective items, things of that nature, you can go ahead and do some of these things, the maintenance. So anything you can do to prolong, your what am I trying to say? The habitability, the maintenance, the efficiency of your dwelling, of your place, again, wherever that may be, bugging in or bugging out, the better off you're going to be. The more infrastructure you have in place for some of your plans, be it a well, or garden, or animal pens, places to do a lookout, whatever it may be, put those things in action. Go ahead and do those things. Don't put off the kinds of maintenance items if you can. I realize not everybody can just jump out and have your house painted and put a new roof on it and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's costly, okay? So we've little by little been taking care of some of this stuff that wasn't already done when we moved here. So we feel like we've got our place now, just the physical place, just the dwelling itself. We've got it to a position of where, provided any unseen disasters don't come along, such as, tornadoes or earthquakes or anything like that, the dwelling is sound, and that's one less thing we'll have to worry about. It's got new windows, it's the paint and caulk has all been done to the nth degree. So that's another way to look at how you can get your prepping done and what we ought to be focusing on, as well as, again, food, water, medical, etc. So just a little public service announcement for you guys today. Because corony, or stripes around your shoulders, chains around your feet, whatever the case may be, we must be prepared for whatever is coming our way. Because something is coming our way, and something will come our way. And SHTF can be anything. It can be you losing your job, with no immediate prospects there. It could be, a natural disaster localized to your area that shuts down services. It could be corony, wreaking havoc across the entire nation. It can be wars and rumors of wars. It can be the fake financial system we've got set up finally coming to an end. All of these things that you guys know about. So just a little food for thought on this Sunday morning, Super Bowl Sunday. Who's watching the game? Anybody? I'm not a big football guy, but we do always watch the Super Bowl just just because, I don't know. We do, so we'll probably look at it tonight. But anyway, that's all I got. Just a little food for thought for you guys. Thank you. Real World Prepper. See you again.